Success doesn't begin the moment you achieve your goal. It begins the moment you decide to believe it's already possible. One of the most powerful mental tools you can ever harness is the ability to act as if you've already succeeded. This principle isn't about pretending, it's about training your mind to operate from a place of certainty, purpose, and alignment with your desired future. When you consistently act, think, and feel like the person who has already achieved their goals, something extraordinary begins to happen. Your brain and your life start to shift in that direction. Science confirms this. Neuroscience reveals that mental rehearsal, vividly imagining yourself achieving success, activates the same parts of the brain as actually living that experience. That means when you visualize your goals as accomplished, when you feel the joy, the confidence, and the pride of having made it, you're literally building new neural pathways that move you toward that version of yourself. The subconscious mind doesn't distinguish between what's vividly imagined and what's physically real. That's why top athletes, elite performers, and legendary leaders use visualization and identity alignment to prepare for success long before the world sees the outcome. So, how do you apply this in your own life? It starts each morning. Before the chaos of the day pulls you in all directions, take 5 to 10 minutes to close your eyes and see your goal already completed. Don't just think it, feel it. See the details. Hear the sounds. Feel the emotions of accomplishment. Walk through your day mentally with the confidence of someone who has already won. When you open your eyes, carry that energy into your words, your posture, and your decisions. Speak with clarity. Move with intention. Make choices from a place of identity, not insecurity. Let's be clear. This is not about faking it or deluding yourself. This is about conditioning yourself to become the kind of person who naturally attracts and executes on high-level outcomes. When you act like a leader, you begin to make decisions like one. When you think like a winner, you're more likely to take bold, effective action. Over time, these identity-based actions compound into results that reflect your internal world. The real transformation happens when you stop asking, "What if I fail?" and start asking, "What would the best version of me do right now?" That question alone creates a powerful psychological shift. It forces you to step outside the limitations of your current circumstances and into the mindset of growth, excellence, and inevitability. Suddenly, procrastination fades, doubt diminishes. You move differently, not from hope, but from certainty. People will feel this change. The way you speak, the way you enter a room, the way you pursue your goals, it all begins to carry a different frequency. Opportunities, connections, and resources will begin to align with you because your energy is no longer uncertain. It's directed, focused, intentional. Remember this truth. The future isn't something you wait for. It's something you create. And the most effective way to create it is to embody it right now. Stop postponing belief in yourself. Stop waiting for permission or proof. Decide today to walk, talk, and think like the version of you who's already crossed the finish line. That version is not far away. It's one decision, one action, one shift in identity away. And when you make this mental shift consistently, when you wake up each day and act as if, you'll find that success isn't just something you hope for. It becomes something you live into, one step, one choice, and one powerful belief at a time. Success isn't just about working harder. It's about aligning your inner world with what you want to attract. One of the most transformative principles you can apply in your life is the law of attraction. The idea that like attracts like. It's not wishful thinking or mystical theory. It's grounded in how your mind, body, and energy interact with the world around you. The thoughts you hold most often, the emotions you dwell in, and the words you speak all act like a signal tower, broadcasting to the universe what you're available for. And the universe, in turn, responds in kind. Here's what that really means. Your dominant thoughts and emotions shape your reality. If you constantly think in terms of lack, limitation, or fear, you create more situations that confirm those beliefs. But when you consciously shift into thoughts of abundance, confidence, and certainty, you begin to see opportunities, connections, and breakthroughs that were previously hidden from view. Your energy becomes magnetic to the outcomes you desire. The key is alignment. It's not enough to merely want something. You must align with it, mentally, emotionally, and behaviorally. That means speaking as if your goal is already happening, feeling the confidence and gratitude you'd have if your dream were already real, walking and moving with the posture of someone who knows where they're going. When your internal world, your thoughts, emotions, and language, is congruent with the outcome you seek, you create a powerful energetic field that attracts that outcome into your life. Let's start with language. The words you use every day either reinforce your vision or weaken it. Phrases like, I hope it works, maybe someday, or I can't afford it, send a message of doubt and hesitation, not just to others, but to your own subconscious mind. Your brain listens to what you say and treats it as truth. So change your vocabulary. Instead of I hope, say I will. Instead of I can't, say I'm prioritizing my resources. Speak with intention, clarity, and ownership. Your words are commands. Use them wisely. Now consider how you feel. Emotion is energy in motion. The stronger the emotion, the stronger the signal you send. That's why it's so important to cultivate emotions like gratitude, certainty, enthusiasm, and confidence, even before your external circumstances reflect your goal. This is where visualization and embodiment come in. Each morning, take a few minutes to feel the success you're working toward. Picture it vividly. Feel it in your chest. Let it energize you. Your brain begins to treat this imagined experience as real, and your nervous system adjusts accordingly. You begin to act differently, not from lack, but from fulfillment. Movement matters too. How you carry yourself impacts how you feel and how others respond to you. Stand tall. Move with purpose. Smile like you already know things are working in your favor. Confidence isn't just a mindset. It's a posture, a presence. When your actions match the energy of success, you reinforce the belief that your goal is not only possible, it's inevitable. And don't forget, what you focus on expands. Train your attention to notice progress, to celebrate small wins, to interpret setbacks as setups. When something doesn't go your way, ask, what can I learn from this? Rather than spiraling into frustration. The law of attraction isn't about denying reality, it's about choosing the meaning you assign to events and using that meaning to move forward with power. The universe doesn't respond to desperation or doubt. It responds to belief and alignment. So stop speaking limitation. Stop carrying the energy of fear. Instead, step into your day with the energy of someone who's already living their dream. Speak it, feel it, move it. Align yourself fully, and watch how quickly your world begins to mirror back the success you've already claimed within. Success doesn't start with a result. It starts with an identity. Before you can have the life you want, you must become the kind of person who naturally creates it. This is a principle that the most successful people in the world live by, whether they realize it consciously or not. The mistake most people make is thinking, once I get the success, I'll act differently. I'll be more confident, more focused, more disciplined. But that's backwards. You don't get the promotion and then become a leader. You become a leader. And that's why you get the promotion. You don't earn wealth and then feel abundant. You feel and act abundantly. And that's what draws wealth to you. Your identity is the foundation of everything. And the good news is, identity is a choice. It's not something fixed at birth. It's not limited by your past. It's something you build through intention, repetition, and behavior. Every thought you entertain, every word you speak, and every action you take is either reinforcing your current identity or constructing a new one. The key is to stop waiting for outside circumstances to give you permission to act like your future self. You must decide who you are becoming and start living that way now. Think about it. Who is the version of you that already has the success you're aiming for? How do they wake up in the morning? How do they speak? How do they treat their time? What boundaries do they keep? What standards do they live by? Get clear on the details, because this is the blueprint you're stepping into. Success isn't just about doing more, it's about being more, and identity drives behavior. Start with your habits. Your future self likely doesn't scroll aimlessly or hit the snooze button 5 times. They probably plan their day with purpose, invest in their growth, and protect their energy. Begin adopting those habits today. Not perfectly, but consistently. Every time you follow through, you're sending a message to your subconscious. This is who I am now. And the more that identity takes root, the easier it becomes to make choices that align with your goals. Language matters too. Speak like someone who knows where they're going, not with doubt, but with certainty. Replace I hope I can with I'm building this. Shift from I'm trying to I am. These aren't just words, they're signals to your nervous system that you're shifting into a higher version of yourself. Your subconscious believes what you consistently tell it. Speak the language of your future, not the limitations of your past. Even your posture plays a role. Carry yourself with the presence of someone who owns their vision, shoulders back, eyes forward, movements purposeful. People, and more importantly, you, will begin to respond to that energy. Confidence doesn't wait for proof. It creates the conditions for proof to show up. And yes, there will be moments when this identity feels unfamiliar, even uncomfortable. That's a sign of growth. You're stretching beyond the version of yourself that was shaped by fear, hesitation, and old patterns. Embrace that discomfort. It means you're not pretending. You're practicing. You're rewiring your mind and body to align with a new standard. This isn't about faking it until you make it. It's about becoming it until it's natural. The results you want will come as a byproduct of who you choose to be daily. So don't wait for success to change you. Change yourself now, and success will follow. The words you speak aren't just communication, they're programming. Every sentence you say, every phrase you repeat, is a direct command to your subconscious mind. This is not metaphor, it's science. Your subconscious doesn't process language passively. It listens, absorbs, and responds. And over time, the language you use becomes the identity you live by. This is why the most powerful shift you can make in your journey to success is a shift in the way you speak to others, and most importantly, to yourself. Too often, we sabotage our own progress with subtle, everyday phrases like, I'm not good at this, I'll try, or maybe one day. These aren't just harmless expressions. They are signals. Weak, indecisive, and disempowered. And your subconscious responds accordingly. It pulls back, it hesitates, and it builds patterns of avoidance. On the other hand, when you use phrases like I am, I will, or I choose, you activate confidence, commitment, and clarity. These words are declarations, not suggestions. They tell your brain, this is what's happening, and your mind begins to align your focus and energy with that reality. Consider this. Your subconscious can't tell the difference between a vividly imagined scenario and a real one. When you say, I can't do this, your brain doesn't challenge it. It accepts it as truth. But when you say, I am learning this, or I will figure this out, your subconscious kicks into action. It starts finding ways to make that outcome real. Your language becomes the script your life begins to follow. Empowering language doesn't stop at declarations. The questions you ask yourself every day are just as important. Questions direct your attention. They focus your mental lens. And your brain, being the ultimate problem-solving machine, will always look for answers. So when you ask, why do I always mess this up? Your brain will go searching for reasons to confirm that belief. But change that question to, what can I learn from this? Or, how can I handle this better next time? And your mind starts scanning for growth, strategy, and resilience. This is how we rewire our minds, not through willpower alone, but through language. When you wake up, don't start your day with mental noise or vague intentions. Begin with clear, intentional statements. I am focused. I am disciplined. I choose progress today. Write them down. Say them out loud. Repeat them until they become part of your internal dialogue. This isn't wishful thinking. This is neural conditioning. Over time, the neural pathways associated with fear and hesitation weaken, while those associated with confidence and momentum grow stronger. Think of it this way. Every phrase you speak is a brick. You are either building a fortress of strength and purpose, or a cage of limitation and doubt. Your choice of words determines which it will be. Even small adjustments make a huge difference. Swap I hope with I expect. Replace I'll try with I will. Drop I'm not sure for I'm finding the best way. These may sound like minor tweaks, but they reshape the entire tone of your self-image. Remember, your subconscious is always listening. It's not interested in whether your words are objectively true in the moment. It's only interested in repetition and emotional intensity. So speak with conviction. Speak as the person you're becoming, not the one you're leaving behind. Over time, your external reality will begin to reflect your internal dialogue. Words are not just reflections of your thoughts. They are architects of your destiny. Use them wisely, consistently, and with power. Because the language you choose is the life you build. Success is not a one-time event. It's not the result of a big breakthrough or a stroke of luck. True, lasting success is built in the quiet, consistent moments most people overlook. The seemingly small rituals repeated every single day. These rituals aren't about perfection or intensity. They're about alignment. When your daily habits reflect the person you want to become, you begin to reprogram your identity from the inside out. Think about it. Your life is a direct reflection of your repeated actions. If you want to change your outcomes, don't chase new results. Change the systems that shape your days. Begin by asking yourself, what does the successful version of me do every day? Not once a week. Not only when they're motivated, every day. What time do they wake up? How do they speak? What kind of energy do they bring into a room? What do they read, eat, or focus on? Then you begin to act accordingly, one ritual at a time. Your rituals should not be random. They should be deliberate and designed to mirror your highest standards. This means organizing your physical space to reflect clarity and excellence. Clean your desk, arrange your tools. Set up your environment so it supports, not sabotages, your discipline. Your physical space constantly communicates with your subconscious. A chaotic workspace signals confusion. A neat, purposeful space signals control and intent. Don't underestimate how your surroundings shape your identity. Next, build rituals that set the tone for your day. For some, this means waking up early and meditating. For others, it's journaling, stretching, or reviewing their goals. What matters is not the exact activity. It's the consistency and intention behind it. These rituals are reminders to your subconscious. This is who I am now. Over time, these repeated cues form neural pathways that reinforce your chosen identity. Don't make the mistake of trying to overhaul your entire routine overnight. That's a recipe for burnout. Instead, begin with one keystone ritual. Something simple but powerful. For example, writing down 3 goals every morning, or taking a 15-minute walk in silence before starting your day. Do it every single day, no matter how you feel. This builds trust with yourself. It trains your brain to follow through. And when you trust yourself, your confidence multiplies. Repetition is what turns behaviors into identity. At first, your new rituals may feel foreign, even forced. That's normal. But stick with them. Your mind adapts quickly. And soon, what once required effort becomes automatic. That's the beauty of discipline. It becomes easier the longer you practice it. What's difficult now becomes second nature tomorrow. High achievers don't rely on random motivation. They rely on systems, structured routines that guarantee results regardless of mood or circumstance. These systems are built on rituals, not flashy ones, but simple, quiet actions done well and done consistently. They wake up when they say they will. They plan their day with intention. They reflect at night, learn from mistakes, and recommit. This consistency creates momentum, and momentum is one of the most powerful forces in personal growth. Once you feel it, you crave it. You start to build evidence that you're capable, focused, and resilient. And with that self-belief, you take bigger actions and set bolder goals. Ultimately, your rituals shape your future. If you repeat low standards, you get low outcomes. If you install high standards into your daily behavior, your life will begin to mirror those standards. It's not about doing more, it's about doing what matters every single day. So start today. Build one ritual that reflects the life you want. Honor it. Repeat it. And watch as your identity evolves, not by force, but by design. Success is never a solo journey. It's shaped by the people you allow into your life and the environment you create around you. While self-discipline and personal drive matter, your surroundings, both human and physical, can either push you forward or quietly pull you back. That's why one of the most powerful steps you can take to transform your life is to take full control of your environment. Let's start with the people. You've likely heard the saying, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. It's not just a catchy quote, it's a psychological truth. The people around you shape your mindset, your beliefs, your habits, and even your sense of what's possible. If you're constantly surrounded by individuals who settle for mediocrity, make excuses, or shy away from growth, their energy will rub off on you no matter how motivated you are. But when you place yourself in a circle of driven, growth-oriented individuals, people who challenge your thinking, expect more from you, and are walking their own path of excellence, everything shifts. These kinds of people elevate the room just by being in it. They raise your standards. They hold you accountable. They inspire you to reach higher, think bigger, and act more boldly. To do this, start by taking inventory. Who are the 5 people you spend the most time with? Are they expanding your vision or limiting it? Are they encouraging you to grow or validating your comfort zone? If the answer makes you uncomfortable, that's a sign to make a change, not by cutting everyone out, but by being more intentional. You don't need to abandon your current relationships, but you do need to seek out new ones that stretch and support your future self. Now let's talk about your physical environment. Your surroundings are like a mirror. They reflect your standards back to you. A cluttered space reinforces a cluttered mind. A messy desk signals disorganization. But an intentional, well-kept environment reminds your subconscious that you take your goals seriously, that you're operating at a higher level even before the world sees it. Upgrade your space to reflect the person you're becoming. Organize your office like a CEO. Dress each day as if you're already in the role you want. Surround yourself with reminders of your goals, vision boards, inspiring quotes, photos of what you're working toward. These aren't just decorations, they're signals to your brain. This is who I am now. The goal is to design an environment that naturally supports the identity you're building, one that makes it easier to stay focused, productive, and motivated. You shouldn't have to rely on willpower alone. Your surroundings should pull you into success automatically. This principle applies everywhere: your home, your workspace, even the car you drive or the background on your phone. Every element of your environment is either reinforcing the old you or activating the new one. Be deliberate. Make sure everything around you is lifting you toward your goals, not anchoring you to your past. In the end, success becomes inevitable when your environment aligns with your vision. So surround yourself with excellence, both in people and in place. Let your world reflect your future, not your current reality. Because when you live inside a space that breathes possibility, Your potential expands with every breath you take. Success doesn't wait. It doesn't reward those who hesitate, overthink, or seek perfect timing. It rewards the bold, the ones who move with certainty, not because they have all the answers, but because they've made a decision to act now. If you're waiting for the stars to align, for the fear to go away, or for someone to validate your dream, you're not preparing, you're procrastinating. And that delay could cost you more than you realize. The people who win in life don't wait until they feel ready. They act from alignment with the future they've already chosen. They don't approach their goals hoping to achieve them someday. They move as if those goals are already theirs, and each step they take is simply catching up to that reality. This level of certainty isn't arrogance, it's clarity. And clarity creates confidence. Confidence creates momentum. And momentum is what separates the dreamers from the doers. Here's what most people get wrong. They think action comes after motivation, that once they feel fired up, they'll finally take the leap. But in reality, action comes first. It creates the motivation. It changes your emotional state. Every time you move toward your goal, no matter how small the step, you tell your brain, "This matters. I'm serious." That's how you start building a track record of follow-through that compounds over time. But it has to be bold. It has to be immediate. Why? Because hesitation kills energy. The longer you wait, the more your mind fills with doubts, distractions, and reasons to stay put. You start negotiating with your potential, you start settling, and before you know it, the moment has passed, and you're left with regret instead of results. You don't need to have everything figured out to take bold action. You just need to trust that movement creates clarity. The first step leads to the second. The second reveals the third. Most people are stuck not because they lack talent or resources, but because they refuse to take the first step unless they can see all 10. But the successful move, even when the path isn't fully clear. They trust that progress will bring direction. To act boldly is to act with energy, with purpose. It means showing up as the person you aspire to be, not just thinking about it. That means speaking with conviction, making decisions quickly, saying yes to opportunities that scare you, saying no to distractions that dilute your focus. It means raising your standards in how you spend your time, who you associate with, and what you tolerate. Every bold action sends a signal to your subconscious mind and to the world around you that you are serious. It creates momentum. It attracts people, resources, and opportunities that match your energy. People are drawn to those who move with purpose. They trust those who lead with clarity. And life responds to those who show up with intention. There's a magnetic power in decisiveness. When you act from a place of confidence, not desperation, when you move as if success is already yours, you become a force. Your actions carry weight. Your energy becomes contagious. And suddenly, the opportunities that once seemed distant start moving toward you because you've aligned your internal belief with external behavior. So stop waiting. Stop rehearsing. Stop telling yourself you need more time, more certainty, or more permission. You don't. The only thing standing between you and your next breakthrough is a decision. One bold step. One moment where you say, "I'm done playing small." Let that moment be now. Whatever you've been putting off, start it today. Make the call, launch the idea. Say what needs to be said. Begin the thing you keep thinking about, even if it scares you, especially if it scares you, because that fear is often the clearest sign that the action is aligned with your growth. Act boldly. Act now. And watch as life rises to meet your momentum. Before any dream becomes real, before any goal is reached, before any victory is earned, there is belief, not fleeting hope, not wishful thinking, but deep, unshakable belief. It is the foundation of all success. Without it, even the most talented individuals drift. But with it, ordinary people accomplish the extraordinary. Belief is what holds you steady when results haven't yet arrived. It's what keeps your feet moving when the path is unclear. It's what silences the doubt that creeps in when progress is slow or obstacles arise. And it's what fuels the consistency needed to build anything worthwhile. Most people are waiting for proof before they believe. They want the result first, the money in the account, the weight off the scale, the praise from others, before they'll fully commit. But the truth is, belief must come first. You don't get to see the finish line until you've decided in your soul that you're going to cross it. You must believe with such clarity and conviction that your actions naturally follow. Think of belief as the root system of a tree. What you see above the ground, success, recognition, outcomes, is only as strong as what lies beneath. The deeper your belief, the stronger your foundation. It's what allows you to weather setbacks, criticism, and uncertainty. It's what allows you to keep building when no one else sees the vision but you. So, how do you cultivate this kind of belief? First, document your wins, every single one, big or small. When your mind tells you you're not making progress, you need written proof that you are. Keep a journal of victories, completing a tough workout, finishing a project, making a bold decision, overcoming a moment of fear. These wins are the evidence you can refer back to when doubt tries to cloud your thinking. Second, visualize your success daily, not as a fantasy, but as preparation. See yourself living the life you want, achieving the goals you've set. Feel it, hear it. Immerse yourself in the version of reality you are working to create. The brain doesn't distinguish between imagined experiences and real ones. It builds neural pathways for both. So the more you visualize with emotion and clarity, the more your brain begins to accept this vision as truth, and the more your behavior will align with that belief. Third, challenge your doubts with empowering evidence. When your inner voice says, "You can't do this," respond with proof of times you already did something hard. When you hear, "You're not ready," remind yourself of the preparation and lessons you've collected. Doubt can only survive in the absence of perspective. Shine a light on it with truth, and it loses power. Your belief system shapes your behavior, and behavior creates outcomes. When you believe you're capable, you take action. You show up differently. You're more consistent, more courageous, more resilient. And those actions, compounded over time, produce the very results you once only imagined. But belief isn't automatic. It must be built and protected. Surround yourself with people who reinforce your vision, not those who water down your ambition. Speak affirmations out loud that reflect the identity you're stepping into. Feed your mind with stories of others who've defied the odds, not to compare, but to remind yourself what's possible. Most importantly, act in alignment with your belief. Don't just think it, live it. Make decisions like someone who knows success is inevitable. Treat setbacks as setups. Carry yourself with confidence even before results appear. Because that confidence, earned through belief and behavior, will move you forward when motivation fades. Today, decide to believe in yourself at a new level, not because the world gave you permission, but because you've chosen to give yourself a new identity, one rooted in purpose, persistence, and power. Hold the vision. Trust the process. And remember, belief isn't just the beginning. It is the engine that drives everything else forward. Failure. For most people, it's a stop sign, a red light, a signal to turn back, slow down, or question their worth. But for the world's highest achievers, failure is something entirely different. It's fuel. It's information. It's a necessary step in the process, not a sign to give up. The truth is, fear of failure, not failure itself, is what holds most people back. It paralyzes action, breeds hesitation, and robs you of momentum before you even start. You don't take the risk, not because you know you'll fail, but because you might. That maybe is enough to keep most people stuck. But here's the shift. What if you treated failure not as evidence of inadequacy, but as confirmation that you're in motion? What if setbacks weren't signs that you're off track, but proof that you're on it? Every successful person you admire has failed multiple times. They've been rejected, laughed at, overlooked, and told no. But they refused to let failure define them. Instead, they chose to let it refine them. Failure is feedback. It's the universe saying, not yet. Adjust, learn, grow. The only way to avoid failure is to do nothing, and that guarantees mediocrity. Progress, by its very nature, requires you to stretch, to experiment, to risk falling short. It's part of the contract. The key is reframing your relationship with failure. Stop seeing it as punishment. Start seeing it as a portal. Every time you fall, you're gaining strength, insight, clarity. You're building resilience that comfort could never teach you. So how do you reframe failure and move forward? Start with this question. What would I do if I knew success was guaranteed? Sit with that. Let it strip away hesitation. Let it remove the imaginary ceiling that fear creates. If you knew, without a doubt, that success was on the other side, what bold step would you take today? That's your answer. That's your move. Now act on it, even if it feels uncomfortable, especially if it does. That discomfort is a signal you're doing something that matters. You're moving into the unknown, where growth lives. And remember, failure only has meaning if you give it one. You can decide that it means, I'm not good enough, or you can decide that it means, I'm leveling up. That's the power of perspective. When you hit a wall, ask better questions. Instead of, why is this happening to me? Ask, what is this teaching me? Instead of, what did I do wrong? Ask, what can I do differently? These subtle shifts change your emotional state and open the door to solutions. Also, train yourself to review your failures with curiosity, not criticism. Journal about what went wrong, what worked, what didn't, and what you'd do next time. Turn the experience into a personal lesson plan, not a personal attack. The most powerful thing you can do in the face of failure is to keep going, not to ignore the pain, but to honor it by extracting wisdom, by rising stronger. That's where transformation happens, not in the win, but in the rebound. You are not your failures. You are who you choose to become because of them. Every setback you survive sharpens your edge. Every challenge you confront builds your confidence. And every time you refuse to quit, you train your brain to believe that success is inevitable, because in time, it will be. So today, stop fearing failure. Start using it. Step forward boldly. Not because it's easy, but because you're capable. The path to everything you want will include missteps, mistakes, and moments of doubt. But none of that defines you. What defines you is what you do next. Embrace failure, not as the end of the road, but as the fuel that powers your journey to greatness. Gratitude is often misunderstood as simply being thankful for the present. But one of the most powerful forms of gratitude doesn't come from what you already have. It comes from what you've decided to have in your future. It's called future-focused gratitude, and it is one of the most potent psychological tools you can use to align your thoughts, emotions, and actions with the reality you want to create. When you express gratitude as if your goals are already accomplished, something remarkable happens. Your subconscious mind begins to accept those desires as truths. It stops waiting for permission or proof. Instead, it gets to work aligning your behavior and decision-making with the outcomes you've already embraced emotionally. Most people wait to feel grateful until success arrives. But high achievers reverse that process. They feel grateful first, and success follows. Why? Because gratitude shifts your internal state. It elevates your energy, reduces fear, and makes your goals feel inevitable instead of distant. You stop chasing success with a sense of desperation and start moving toward it with confidence and calm. The human brain is deeply influenced by emotional repetition. When you repeatedly feel grateful for something, your brain treats it as familiar, even if it hasn't happened yet. This familiarity builds belief, and belief is the foundation of consistent action. Think about it this way. When you're stressed, anxious, or doubtful, your body tightens. Your decisions become reactive. You question your path. But when you're grounded in gratitude, you move differently. You feel more at ease. You become more resourceful. You trust the process because your heart already feels the reward. Here's how to put future-focused gratitude into practice. Start each morning with a brief visualization of your goals already accomplished. Don't just see the result, feel it. Imagine receiving the call, signing the contract, delivering the speech, or standing in the home you dreamed of. And then say thank you, not for the dream, but for the reality. Say it like it's already yours. For example, instead of, I hope I reach financial freedom, say, I'm so thankful that I've built a thriving business that gives me both time and income freedom. Instead of, I wish I could be healthy, say, I'm deeply grateful for my strong, vibrant body that allows me to live fully every day. This kind of gratitude doesn't deny reality. It reshapes it. It gives your mind and body a target to move toward, rather than a fear to run from. It creates a powerful feedback loop. Gratitude fuels belief. Belief fuels action, and action fuels results. Another way to amplify this practice is through writing. Every night, write down 3 things you're grateful for, not just from your current life, but from the life you're creating. Be specific. Feel it in your chest. Let the emotion be real. When setbacks come, and they will, return to this practice. Gratitude helps you reframe failure. Instead of thinking, this didn't work, you'll begin to think, this is part of the process that's shaping me into the person who can handle the success I've already claimed. And don't keep your gratitude hidden. Speak it. Share it. Let it color your conversations. People are drawn to those who radiate calm, hopeful certainty. Your energy will shift, and so will the people and opportunities that show up in your life. Gratitude, especially when directed toward your future, is more than just a feel-good exercise. It's a form of spiritual and psychological preparation. It aligns your conscious goals with your subconscious beliefs. It pulls you out of fear and into faith. So today, don't wait for something to go right to feel grateful. Feel grateful now for the person you're becoming, for the progress you haven't seen yet, and for the destiny you've already decided belongs to you. Your future is listening. Speak to it with gratitude. One of the most powerful life lessons is this: true transformation always begins from within. It's not your circumstances, luck, or even your age that determines your success. It's your mindset, your beliefs, and how you choose to see yourself. When you begin to live as if you've already become the person you aspire to be, speaking, thinking, and acting in alignment with that future identity, you're training both your brain and your heart to move in that direction. This isn't fantasy. It's how you unlock your hidden potential. At any stage in life, change is possible. Start each morning by visualizing your goals as already achieved. Feel gratitude for your health, your peace, and the meaningful relationships you're building, even if they're still unfolding. Belief and gratitude do more than bring emotional peace. They help you make clearer decisions, live with greater intention, and experience each day with renewed purpose. Life is not over. It's evolving. And when you choose to believe in the future you desire, you start to shape it, one thought, one action, and one grateful breath at a time.